What's going on? So there's this crazy notion out here that's saying that the Boston Celtics are better without Jason Tatum. I think Ocho, Fox Sports said this, and it was actually a debate. What do I think? To be honest with you, I've always thought that Tatum and Brown, which I call law firm, is kind of hard to put in perspective. On one hand, when they're playing at their best, they're two of the 15 best players going in the NBA today, maybe 12, depending on which way you come down, how high you got them. On the other hand, there seemed to be some kind of disconnect. And I'm always kind of like, can't quite put my finger on it because I'm like, are you guys, is there a 1 and 1A? Are you guys, is there one guy that is more Steph or the other guy more Clay? Is he more Pippen? I'm just kind of confused how it works. And then they do play a little bit differently. But yeah, this is crazy too because the Celtics should be all that hoopla and hype that they spend on LeBron and the Lakers, they should do that with the Celtics. They are the champions. They have been the two finals in the past 5 years, and all those Eastern Conference runner-ups and everything that went from Udoka to Joe Mazzola and all the stories. So they are a compelling story, historical franchise. This era of the Celtics is very compelling because of the three-point shooting and the high volume. The thing is, let me just start on imagery. Jaylen Brown scares a lot of white folk and some black folk. He outspoken, brother. He spoke his mind, and he definitely got shunned. There's no questions about it. But his charisma and his vibe doesn't really align with playing with the Celtics and so on. So it's a different situation. So that hits. It's pretty raw. Tatum on image would be everything you think they want to sell for a brother, you know, imagery wise. But the problem with JT, he don't really have no personality. There's no charisma. There's something that's an MIA with him. Talented cat can play, but there's something that just doesn't hit. So they have, they have this a very interesting situation there. Young coaches, they've hired black coaches. Which, when you think about Boston, it's a trip. It's like it's like going from the old Andy Griffin show, Mayberry, to going to Boomerang, Eddie Murphy. It's really like that. It's a trip how jarring that is, and how, if you don't know the history from Bill Russell to Bird and Pierce and all of that, how they are one of the, African American players, and the politics and Boston's reputation. Is so much going on. And I say all that to say is that because some people bring this up where they're trying to make a split. I know they play a little bit different with JT gone. I don't know what the results are going to be when they play the Knicks. If they do take this to game 7, then I think they win the series. But does that mean that they're necessarily a better team without Jason Tatum? I'm not going to say nothing crazy like that. But I will say Jaylen Brown definitely got the most out of him last year when they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, and definitely the finals. He balled out of his mind. But I don't know what one would be without the other. And I don't know if that means anything for ball movement, you know. Um, I can't see Jason Tatum playing for any other team. I'll say that. Now, I can't say that about Jaylen Brown. I'd be very surprised. But then again, this Luka Doncic thing might open up a Pandora's box with somebody we moving. But Kevin Durant took exception to Ocho saying that they play better without Tatum, and he ran on the rant. Of course, that's all he do, burner accounts. Because, Durant is like the 50 Cent Kanye West of NBA players that's playing. The one that's retired is Gilbert Arenas. But same type of mindset. Except KD need to just slow down, fade on this one. There is some proof to what I don't really care for Ocho, because the best connect he ever did was Joy Taylor, but that's another story, another video. But there is some truth. They are a different team with Jason Tatum in the lineup or not. And there is this kind of like, I don't know, it's a strange odyssey from when I look at the Celtics, because I look at the Celtics and I think, you got all the makings of a should-be dynasty, but there's a soul that's missing, you know. And they're not as romanticized or glamorized because, well, let's be realistic. Neither one of these cats got that kind of charisma. If either one of them had Paul Pierce's charisma, as much as he thinks highly of himself, they would anoint them over him. That's the problem. And Tatum is the dude that is seen as the main alpha, even though Brown is an alpha too. But it's just they're kind of hard to really get into, because I'm going to say this about the Celtics. You don't like them because they win all the time or dominant. You just don't really feel that they're missing soul. That's what it is. Ironically, the '80s Celtics with Bird and them and Parrish and McHale, they gave you reason to hate them, and plus how they played. Pierce's Celtics gave you reason to kind of like, this is a different hit. These Celtics, it's a different hit. You just don't like them because they seem like something is like the other should be the other. It's like it's going in opposite directions when it's not connecting. So, but I think Joe Mazzulla is a really good coach, and they're coming behind Udoka, real good coach. So I think that that's there. But the way they're behind in the series against the Knicks is kind of like what I mean. Things don't flow like they should because technically looking, they should be the team in the East. They should be. I mean, they got the lineup that you'd want. It's just that the dots don't always connect. And that's one of the things I'm noticing with the Celtics. But anyway, tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments. And I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Hit that membership. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Stay woke. Stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.